Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be ranking the best shooting guards, small forwards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM right here on this tier list. I got 24 of the best shooting guards, small forwards. I said that twice in my team 2 rank, and I think this is going to be an interesting video. So I would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. Let's not waste any time. I only included 24 guys here, and this is pretty close to the best of the best. If there's any guys I left out the list you'd like to hear my thoughts on at small forward, feel free to leave me a comment, and I'll try to get back to you and let you know where I would put those cards. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. Let's check out Aaron Gordon, starting with him. So the thing about Aaron Gordon, I actually do like this card. I just think his release isn't all that good. Everything else about him is pretty solid. He's a very complete card, stat and badge-wise, one of the more complete, especially the pink diamonds on this list. I like the card. I just don't love the release. And even as good as and as complete as he is, I just can't put him any higher than B tier because of the questionable release. Adam Morrison would be S if not for his upper not being great on his jump shot, because he still moves so well, and he gets every badge. Very, very complete, very good card. But I think A tier is probably the fairest spot to put him. I think that's where I would really put him with the way that his release is, because Jerry West upper kind of, I wouldn't say ruins, but definitely hurts his release, holds him back a bit. As good of a card as he is, he unfortunately did not quite live up to the hype this year simply because of his upper not being that great. AK is good, but I still got to go C tier at this point. This is a list of the best of the best, and he just does not have a best of the best release. Defensively, he is absolutely incredible, but he's a capable slasher as well, but release isn't great, playmaking isn't great. The card itself is a little bit limited. Blake Griffin, he's good, but his release is not. And that holds him back. I would say S tier is probably, S tier is the top 4 or 5 guys. I just don't think Blake Griffin falls into that category. He's not that far behind it, but I would still put him A tier for sure because of the release not being great. Carmelo Anthony's lack of defense puts him in C tier. He's one of the worst defensive cards on this list for sure. I think pretty easily C tier. Honestly, you could probably make an argument for him. In fact, I am going to make an argument for him D tier, because I look at this list and there's only a couple guys on this list that I see worse than Carmelo. Got to have at least 3 or 4 guys in D tier. So I think Carmelo, unfortunately, is going to have to be one of them because of his complete lack of quality defensive ability at this point. Jason Tatum, does he go S? The answer to that question is probably no, in my opinion. As good as Tatum is with his release and everything and his completeness stat and badge-wise, I don't love his SIGs, and his fade also kind of sucks. So in terms of primary shot creation, he's certainly not incredible in that aspect. In fact, I wouldn't say his fade kind of sucks. His fade sucks. It downright sucks. It is bad, and it kind of hurts his shot creation ability a lot. Overall, I don't hate the card as a whole, but I really don't love his animations. They pretty easily hold him out of S tier, in my opinion. Honestly, I might even take a couple of the guys. Like, I don't know if he's going to be a top A tier guy. Jonathan Isaac is amazing defensively, but he's missing too many key badges to really be any higher than B tier. As good as he is, I just can't put him in the A tier. He's an elite level defender, but I think B tier is totally fair. Josh Smith's going to go D tier because of his release. I actually do like this card. I think he's very athletic, a pretty decent shot creator, all that type of stuff, but he has the worst release on this list, and he's not good enough as a shooter or as a play. He's not good enough in the other areas to overcome having as poor of a release as he does. Karl Malone also goes B tier to me. I like the card, but he could use a slightly better release, and he certainly could use upgraded playmaking ability as well. That's probably the area in which he is slacking and limited the most. Also, just doesn't have the completeness badge-wise of some of the other cards that are higher than him. As good of a card as he is, and he is still very solid, very athletic, good defender, big, small forward. I think B tier is fair for him. KD is going to be our first S tier. I am going to put KD at the back of S tier. In fact, I say that. No, I'm not. I lied. I'm putting KD in A tier. I don't think he's top 5 on this list. I did include 100 overall KG, so KG definitely is S tier. KG is the best small forward in the game. I decided I'll include the 100 overalls in the tier list because it's one of many cards. Yes, they are almost unattainable. I have said this many times, and I will continue to say it. Do not open packs, but that KG is the best card in the game right now. And I'm not sure it's particularly close. He really realistically should be in his own tier at the small forward position. That's how good that KG card is. Larry Bird is D tier. His release stinks. He's not fast. He's not a good shot creator. He's not an incredible defender. He's not a great card. He was a hugely disappointing reward card in Season 4. And yeah, I think he's easily D tier. Larry Johnson is good, like good enough to be borderline A tier, actually. I really like his release. Athletically, he's good, but he is only 6'7". He is only a pink diamond. He's a good pink diamond, a very good pink diamond. I would say he's the highest in B tier so far for me, but I'm not quite giving him A. I'm going S for LeBron. Obviously, KG is better, and there's a couple other guys that I think are at least arguably better at small forward than LeBron is as well, but LeBron is a top 3 to 4 small forward at very worst. Really great card, great movement, good release, elite slashing, elite defense, elite overall card. and definitely S tier. Leonard Miller. Am I crazy to say, well, I wish his release was a little better. If his release was a little better, I'd put him higher than C tier. He is one of the best Amethysts in the game, but I will say his release is not extraordinary. So I think C tier is pretty fair spot for him because he just doesn't quite have the completeness of some of the guys above him. Michael Beasley is actually, well, here's the thing. You look at this list, is he the 5th guy? Because there's 2 other guys that are distinctly above him in the S tier. Is he the 5th S tier guy? And in my mind, the answer is yes. And the reason for that is because of the completeness of the release, the versatility athletically, and just as an overall offensive card. And while he may not be the best defensive card in the world, his offense is on another level, especially that release. That puts him S tier to me. Michael Porter Jr., back at A. Really good card. Nice release. Not the greatest defender, but he's got a really good fade. And his release is amazing. I really like the card. I think A tier is pretty fair. Peja is really good. Is he A? I think so. I think Page is A because he's, well, no, I'm putting him B. I think he's B. His release is really good, and he is a glitch defensive card as well, so he's just a great 3 and D. His playmaking is not great, and his slashing is also not great. He and Larry Johnson, though, to me, are the 2 best cards in B tier for sure, and I almost think they're like a tier above the rest of the B tier, if that makes sense. Rashard Lewis's release is horrible. I understand his SIGs are good, and he's an opal. His release is atrocious. I don't care. I'm putting him C tier. I cannot stand a release that is that ugly, and I don't like that card. Rudy Gay, elite S tier, top tier guy, arguably better than LeBron. I know his defense isn't extraordinary, but offensively he is that man. He's like Michael Beasley, except with legit SIGs, basically, is how I would describe him as a card. Elite release, amazing slasher, big, versatile athlete, with great SIGs as well, and defensively is a good card as well. Like, I think he's definitely S tier, no doubt about it in my mind. Scotty Barnes, good, but not great. Not an amazing release, not an incredible shot creator, but a good defender, good slasher, can make open shots, can put the ball on the floor. He's a good card, but he's not a great card in any specific area, and I think like B or C, he's just kind of there. You know what I mean? Sean Marion is our final S tier card. I think he's the best small forward in the game that's not 100 overall. Like, I really do believe he's that good. Incredibly versatile, great defender with a great release as well. Really fast release, elite shooter, elite slasher, really good shot creator as well as great SIGs. I mean, they souped up that Sean Marion card. He's a monster. I'm moving Karl Malone down a tier because I want to put Xavier McDaniel in B tier instead, and I think he's better than Karl Malone. He needs badges, yes, but if you add a couple badges to that X-Men card, he's got a great release. He's got a really nice behind the back. He's very athletic. I just think he's a more versatile, more complete version of a guy like Karl Malone. Couple inches shorter, but still really, really good. I think B tier is fair for him. And then Zion is going to be our final A tier guy. I think Zion, with the tray fade and the athletic ability, even with the release not being extraordinary, with that tray fade that he's got, his athletic versatility, his playmaking versatility, and his elite level all-around defense, he is an A tier card to me at the small forward position. And I think this is overall a very fair, very well-balanced small forward tier list. I mean, I could potentially balance it out a little more by moving somebody from A to B and moving everybody else, or one play guy from each tier down a tier to make it a little more even, but I am cool with the way this one looks right now. So I hope you all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.